everybody, welcome to Transfermarkt TV International. I hope that we reach you healthy and well during these difficult times, and as always, we will try to entertain you for a while with the latest news and rumors in international football. Our first topic of the day is the omnipresent topic these days, the coronavirus, and in our case, how it is affecting football worldwide. After postponing the Euro into summer 2022, the European football governing body UEFA has now started to evaluate playing the European club football competitions to a finish, Champions and Europa League. As different media sources report, there are 7 different scenarios relying on the date of the return to normal football activities. The later this date, the less time for European competitions. With the earliest return date of April 14th not really realistic, the UEFA considers a Final Four tournament with single games in the semis 4 days before the final in both Istanbul and Gdansk for the Europa League, Istanbul of course for the Champions League. Other options could even see single-legged quarter and semi-finals with the home game advantage decided by draw. Great Britain, with a little delay compared to other European countries, has now more intensely started preparing for the expected gigantic task of battling the coronavirus. The English Football Association has foreseeingly halted league action until April 30th, with a date set in May 31st even more likely. According to The Telegraph, the FA plans to continue its season in June, ending after 6 weeks. As Southampton's CEO Martin Salmons stated on BBC, the games probably will be played without attendance. But after a 3-month absence, fans will be enjoying every minute of football on TV, Salmons continued. Expiring contracts on June 30th shouldn't be a problem either, as players who will receive another 2 weeks of good salaries will rather not mind playing 2 more weeks of football for their old club, according to the Saints boss. In a reaction to an extraordinary situation, the corona pandemic has prompted the UEFA to loosen its financial fair play regulations. Clubs now are granted more time until April 30th to clear their financial records without having debts with any other clubs, their own staff or federal authorities. As the Daily Mail reports, Manchester City's ban from the Champions League, though, will stay in effect since the citizens' wrongdoings were dated back between 2016 and 18. Unlike the now for the coronavirus applied rules of higher power affecting the clubs, Manchester City's violation of financial fair play by, for example, misreporting marketing revenues as to the UEFA remain untouched. Norway's professional league was set to start last weekend, but because of spreading of the coronavirus, it was postponed indefinitely. Unlike as in many other leagues, professional players in the Eliteserien have been temporarily laid off following a strict Norwegian labor law. Well-known club Rosenborg has dismissed 39% of its employees. Smaller clubs like Haugesund and Vålerenga reportedly have only kept players on their squad who aren't entitled to unemployment benefits or who are, due to injuries, are on a sick leave. Last up in this corona-related segment of this episode, a look at some players who have been infected most recently. The first stemming from hard-hit Italy, to where we all are sending our sympathies and best wishes to. Argentine striker Paulo Dybala is the 3rd prominent Juventus Turin player infected, joining teammates Rugani and Matuidi. Belgian midfielder Marouane Fellaini, who most recently left Manchester United for Chinese Super League team Shandong Luneng, was also tested positive. As we almost have a total standstill in worldwide football, we of course need something to talk about from our favorite sport, and it's a good thing that we will always have our rumor mill. The big part of this segment starts with Barcelona. According to newspaper AS, the Blaugrana have made a new contract signature by Lionel Messi, the absolute priority. The 32-year-old Argentine is contract-bound at Camp Nou until summer 21, with an option to leave for free at the end of any season, should he wish to do so. In the light of recent troubles within the club, he was linked to Manchester City, currently led by his former boss Pep Guardiola. As AS has it, the Barcelona legend Messi seems to be open to signing a contract extension for further 12 months, though, but he is said to be wanting to keep the mentioned getaway clause. The coronavirus pandemic has caused the Spanish champion Barcelona to readjust their transfer plans in summer. Newspaper Mundo Deportivo has published an update that sees several transfer moves discarded from their list due to expected losses of estimated 60 million euros through football standstill at the moment. Only Lautaro Martinez, the 22-year-old Argentine striker from Inter Milan, and 28-year-old former Barca star Neymar remain on the top transfer target list for summer. As Mundo Deportivo continues, Germany's top striker Timo Werner is no longer plan B to replace Luis Suarez if a move for Martinez doesn't work, since Liverpool are seen as frontrunners for the services of the 24-year-old Leipzig goalscorer, whose market value stands at 80 million euros. Moreover, Barca has reportedly lost their interest in 6 other transfer targets. Werner's Leipzig teammate Dayo Upamecano, fellow Bundesliga players David Alaba from Bayern Munich, and the most valuable German Bundesliga player at the moment seen here, Kai Havertz from Leverkusen, as well as Chelsea's Willian, Daniele Rugani from Juventus Turin, and Inter Milan's talent Alessandro Bastoni. They are said to be no longer on Barcelona's list. The Catalans might reconsider, though, if their French left wing Antoine Griezmann leaves the club. As Spanish newspaper Sport reports, Barcelona is said to be open to sell the 29-year-old at a price tag of 100 million euros. The French World Cup champion never really lived up to the expectations at Camp Nou after coming in on a transfer fee of 120 million euros from Atletico Madrid last summer. Interested parties are Manchester United, Chelsea and Arsenal, as well as Paris Saint-Germain, who might find an Griezmann exchange for Neymar plus cash interesting. Another possibility to generate revenue for new Barcelona signings could be a summer transfer of Felipe Coutinho. The 27-year-old Brazilian offensive midfielder at the moment is loaned to Bayern Munich, with the German champions having a buying option at 120 million euros, which they most likely will not exercise. Coutinho has a decent but not stellar season in Germany after his return to Barcelona in summer. British newspaper Daily Mirror sees 4 Premier League clubs very much interested in signing the former Barcelona and Liverpool standout on loan. Chelsea, Manchester United and Arsenal, as well as the Spurs, could be a new target for Coutinho. Coutinho's Bayern Munich teammate French midfielder Corentin Tolisso might also leave the German Giants in summer. As Italy's Gazzetta dello Sport published, there might be an interest by Inter Milan in signing the 25-year-old World Cup champion, who only played in 13 Bundesliga games and mainly as a substitute in the Champions League. Inter manager Antonio Conte is said to be fond of Tolisso. His contract runs into 2022. A transfer fee is estimated at 35 million euros. Also in the Bundesliga, Eintracht Frankfurt's centre-back Evan Ndika has generated interest from several Premier League sides. Sky Sports UK has information that both Arsenal and Liverpool are monitoring the French under-21 international after coming in on a 5.5 million euro transfer fee from Auxerre in summer 2018. The 20-year-old has appeared in 61 competitive games for Frankfurt in the Bundesliga Cup and Europa League, becoming a regular starter. Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp is said to be interested in Ndika due to the uncertain situation of injured veteran defender Dejan Lovren. Arsenal want to upgrade their defense, but also Spanish sides Sevilla and Valencia, as well as Serie A contender Inter Milan, are interested in signing Ndika. Jurgen Klopp is also involved in this rumor that British paper Express has done research on. According to them, Fabian Ruiz, the Spanish central midfielder for SSC Napoli, is Liverpool's main transfer target in summer. The 23-year-old has played every minute in Napoli's 7 Champions League games, as well as almost every game in the Serie A this season. Due to strong performances, his market value from last summer increased by 10 million to 60 million euros. The Reds are reported to be willing to pay up to 80 million euros for Ruiz, who is in a contract-bound situation in Sicily until 2023. with this high transfer fee, Liverpool hopes to X out other European competitors like Barcelona, Bayern and Manchester United, who are also named as teams with an interest in acquiring Ruiz. Manchester United, according to ESPN, also has a priority signing for this summer on their to-do list. Left winger Thomas Lemar, whose representatives have met with United in the past week. The French international wants to leave Atletico Madrid, where his style of football doesn't really fit in. He played only in 24 games with no scores so far for Atletico in this season. He's 24 years old and his contract runs another 3 years. United will pay a rather high transfer fee because they believe in his left foot and his creativity, since this could be a valuable asset for them next season. Chelsea, in part because of injuries, has rejuvenated its squad under manager Frank Lampard. With Tammy Abraham, Callum Hudson-Odoi and others developing, the Blues might bring back a former teammate of the youngsters, Ivorian left winger Jeremy Boga. In January 2018, he was transferred on a €3 million fee to Italian top-tier side US Sassuolo. Now, in an interview with The Athletic, Boga expressed his sympathy for his former club. He said about Chelsea, "When I was there, it was Willian, Hazard, Pedro. When Jose Mourinho was there, it was Salah. There were a lot of good wingers. For me, it has always been, if I can play, then I will try to go on loan or try to go somewhere to improve. Then maybe come back one day." The 23-year-old Ivorian improved his market value to €20 million this season after scoring 8 and assisting on 4 goals in 24 Serie A matches. Chelsea does have a buyback option for Boga at €20 million. And to end this section, we will stay with Chelsea, which is exactly what Brazilian right winger Willian will do, even if the coronavirus-affected season runs longer than his on June 30th expiring contract with the Blues. The 31-year-old Brazilian expressed his loyalty to his longtime club on Brazilian television. Blues manager Frank Lampard wants Willian to extend his 7-year tenure at Stamford Bridge, but strong competition such as Barcelona, Tottenham and Arsenal are also eyeing a free summer transfer for the Brazilian international, who will at least stay till the end of the season, no matter how long it'll take for them to finish. With the coronavirus pandemic having a firm grip on us, we thought it might be a good idea to have a little humorous delight for you to end our show. What if I told you that there is a team possible out there with Beckham, Ballack, Del Piero and Stoichkov playing in the prime of their career? Well, not quite David Beckham, not quite Michael Ballack and not quite Alessandro Del Piero, but thanks to football fanatic parents or just by naming coincidence, there are some interesting names in the world of football that, just like the big stars of the old days, now could make up a team. Maradona, Hagi, Dalglish and Platini have great names but didn't make it to our top 11 of name doubles by position. We start in goal. Former Nautico and Globo goalkeeper Dasayev, named after the former great Soviet Union #1 Rinat Dasayev, who played and lost the Euro 1988 final by the miraculous goal of Marco van Basten scored against him. The Brazilian Dasayev at age 26 is looking for a new club. The parents of our centre back at left obviously like the winning Dutch team from the Euro 88 better, since they named their son Guliti after Oranje's captain Ruud Gullit. The full name of the 26-year-old Brazilian who plays for underclass Bento Gonçalves is an even bigger homage to the former Milan and Chelsea great. Rudi Guliti is his first, Da Silva Henrique his last name. In the middle, we find Egyptian under-23 international Beckham, who prior to the coronavirus break has been a regular for Egypt's first-tier team Wadi Degla. His given name, Ahmed Ramadan Mohammed, probably didn't excite the masses too much, so he changed it to Beckham, at least without David, not to get confused between the Egyptian centre-back and the former brilliant English midfielder and now team owner of Inter Miami. On the right, another North African admirer of a great European star, the 22-year-old Nedved, first name Karim, even stands at 300,000 euros and thus 50,000 euros higher in market value than Beckham. However, being named after Juventus and Czech legend Pavel Nedved doesn't necessarily open the doors in professional football. The Egyptian Nedved is mostly a backup for the substitute players of Egypt's #1 team, Al Ahly. In central midfield, we start with 18-year-old Portuguese Eduardo Ferreira Soares, now known as Schürrle, who has played his way up through Sporting Braga's youth ranks into the second Braga B team. At the age of 12, he was probably inspired by former German World Cup champion André Schürrle, who scored 3 goals, 2 against Brazil, and had a final deciding assist for Mario Götze against Argentina in the final. Left ahead of Schürrle, Stoichkov, who has a market value of 1 million euros. The Spanish offensive midfielder goes by the real last name Molina Martinez, but probably decided to undermine his creative skills by the name of great Bulgarian and Barca magician Hristo Stoichkov. The 26-year-old new Stoichkov version is with La Liga 2 team Alcorcón, out on loan from RCD Mallorca. At right, Breitner, of course not German 1974 World Cup champion and Bayern legend Paul, but his Venezuelan namesake. His parents obviously liked the German 1974 World Cup team, as they, as a second given name, also had Breitner's fellow German teammate Overath in mind. Overath Breitner da Silva Medina played professionally in Brazil and at the latest in Portugal for Arouca. Our left winger is the highest priced player in our top 11, standing at 10 million euros in market value. The Egyptian international Trezeguet played the 2018 World Cup, and after his 10 million euro transfer last summer from Turkish side Kasimpasa, has become a regular for Aston Villa. 3 goals and 2 assists in 24 Premier League games are noteworthy, even to his probable idol, former Juventus striker and former French World Cup and Euro champion David Trezeguet. The right wing is occupied again by a German name, Ballack, in our case a right winger from Cape Verde, playing for Portuguese third-tier side Real SC. Former Chelsea great and German national team captain Michael Ballack might not be too aware of the 32-year-old Constantino Lopez Vaz, who carries his name into nowadays of football. Our 2 strikers, left Klinsmann, who, by mistake or not, is missing 1 N to be even more identifying with former World Cup champion and national team coach Jürgen. Klinsmann Alejandro Calderón Buitrago is 21-year-old Colombian striker who already played for a 4th-tier team in Germany and now with Austrian 3rd-tier side Kufstein tries to follow in the very large footsteps of former Stuttgart and Tottenham goal-scoring threat Jürgen. His partner in our top 11 of name doubles is Brazilian striker Thuram of Turkish Super League club Konyaspor. The 29-year-old was transferred in winter from Greece, where he previously scored 6 goals in just 15 games for Palmyra in the top tier of Greece. His idol Lilian Thuram only scored 10 league goals in his complete 17 years with Monaco, Parma, Juventus and Barcelona. Most likely it is the only aspect in the game of football where the new Brazilian Thuram excels over the former great French midfielder and defender Lilian Thuram. And there you have it, our most prominent top 11 of name doubles in today's professional football. Thank you very much for joining us once again on Transfermarkt TV International from our headquarters in Hamburg, Germany. Until next week, please stay healthy and please follow all the instructions of your local government to minimize contact to stop the expansion of the coronavirus spreading. Until next week, have a good one. Bye-bye.